Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to, yes, another out-of-spec motoring road trip. This time, I am driving this Rivian R1T across pretty much the entire country. We're in Colorado, we're going to North Carolina with a trailer. So the news is you can't drive long distances with a trailer and an electric truck. I think we have proved over the years it's totally possible. It just sucks. Well, here's our tow rig for the trip. This is a 2025 Rivian R1T Dual-Max pack. Shout out to Rivian for sending me this truck. It's actually on some prototype software. If you watched our previous video with the new Energy app and improved charging performance and improved thermal performance, many of which we're going to be testing on this trip. By the time this video comes out, the software will be released to all Rivian vehicles with this Max pack, so you guys will be able to see how it'll do. And I really wanted to tow all the way to North Carolina with a diesel or a gas truck, but you guys said on Twitter, on X, no, Kyle, you've got to tow electric. We want to see a towing road trip. So we are torturing ourselves, and maybe it'll be great. Maybe I'm coming into this pessimistically, but it'll be really interesting. So that's the truck. It's a 140 something kilowatt hour pack, dual motor. We're going to be running it in tow mode, of course, with the suspension in the low setting, which is not all the way down, but I have the trailer sort of weighted and set up and the hitch set perfectly for the truck in low suspension, not standard. And this is my trailer. It's an H&H trailer, 10,500 pound axles on these things when you add both of them up, which is great. And it's a nice, just, standard steel trailer, nothing fancy. And I've got it loaded up with my BMW CEO2. This is my electric motorcycle. You can see straps going everywhere. Everything's got 4 straps going on, which is really great. I've got my Twizy, my Renault Twizy. This thing is awesome. And I also have our electric smart car. Now, I was a little bit worried about the weight distribution because you don't want too much tongue weight, especially with a Rivian. But the heaviest vehicle here is the smart car, and it's heaviest in the rear since it's rear motor, rear drive, like a Porsche 911. So I've pushed this as far back as I could go on the standard wood system. This is also 3 times as heavy as the Twizy, believe it or not. My bike's only a few hundred pounds. This is under 1,000 pounds. This is almost 3,000 pounds, and I've got it stocked full of wheels and tires in here, which adds to the weight. So I think I'll have to calculate the total weight, but we're heavy, and we're also got, I think, a pretty good weight distribution. Alyssa, you're coming on the trip too.
I am, yes.
But you're not riding with me.
No, I'm riding with that thing that you just saw walk by.
Yeah, Alyssa is taking Walter. What's up, buddy? Walter the Noof. And in the Audi e-tron, which is sort of Walter's dog car at the moment.
You can see it's drooled on. We
oh my
just had
gosh.
muddy days, so
this is disgusting.
I was gonna clean it out, but then we're gonna take it on a road trip with him. So I was like, I'm not gonna put in the grunt work until after he's where he needs to be, out in North Carolina. And so this is his setup here. He's got 2 fans. This one's really loud, so might not put that one on. It's got a oh, now it's working fine. It
was out of balance earlier.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is his setup. There's a little soft crate underneath, but he's got a bed, and then this is like a, yeah.
Yeah, going on a road trip, bud. Almost 2,000 miles. Not his longest road trip. He's been to Florida twice. So he's road tripping expert over here. The reason we're going to North Carolina with all this stuff, Alyssa, everyone's moving back.
Yeah.
Timon, you, me, out of spec, we're all going back to North Carolina. Whoa, he triggered the automatic, the little kick function. He just triggered that. Oh. Yep, so we're not getting rid of Colorado. We're just also expanding to North Carolina, back to the old track.
Yeah.
Back to Raleigh. Should be great. And I thought if we have a track, we have a place to drive our stuff around, which is why the Twizy and my motorcycle is going out, and also why I'm using the Rivian R1T that they gave us to tow out here, because I'm leaving my Rivian here.
Yeah.
And so Rivian was cool enough because they lent this to me to show the new Energy app and the new charging performance. I was like, hey, do you guys mind if I return it in North Carolina? They were like, no, send it, do whatever you want. And so I figured, well, I can keep my truck out here. I don't have to drive it back, and I can just return this in North Carolina, which will be great. We've also got it kitted out because the e-tron doesn't have dog mode.
No, and we're going to be having some long charging sessions.
Yeah, the charging is going to be rough this trip.
We have, I got it off Amazon, 1-day shipping, because our other one is in our truck that's in service.
Yeah, our R1T is in for its out of warranty service at the moment.
Yep.
Just finished up, by the way.
We have this in there. It's got a little hard bottom to extend it, but it's just, temporary for him to be in there when we...
Yeah, it's like if we're charging at a stop, we got to charge both cars to 100 or whatever. Walter can hang out in here. Alyssa, I have a question for you. Is the Rivian with 420 miles of EPA rated range, okay, going to have more or less range than your Audi e-tron towing the trailer?
Less.
You think less range?
Yeah, I do.
It'll be really interesting because this is a 2019 Audi e-tron, which will also be featured in this road trip, of course. And we have put on these beautiful Martian MW05 wheels. It looks great when we slam the air suspension on this thing. It looks absolutely awesome. But it's incredibly inefficient. We've gone for the biggest, least aero wheel possible, and the fat e-tron is known for just chugging juice. I don't know. It's summertime, which will help. It does have a heat pump for winter. It doesn't seem to help. So this is our 2019 e-tron. It's like mid 30,000 miles now. We don't drive it all that long distance, but you do drive it every day. You just drive around town a lot.
Yeah, it's my daily dog hauler, especially now that we got rid of the Cybertruck. So, yeah, it's obviously as it looks. It's for the dogs, and definitely does need a good bath, but why do it when we're going across country? Maybe after.
So the range predicted at 100%, Alyssa, showed 190 miles today. And that's based off of around town driving. So I don't think this thing's going to do 200 on these wheels on the highway. We have done a range test at 70 miles an hour on this car, and you got 270 or 240?
Like 220.
220? Oh yeah, I don't know.
If I got 270 in this car, I would never think about leaving it. So,
yeah, what's got your eye? Lucid Gravity, maybe?
Yeah, that or the new EX90 was really appealing to me as well.
Yeah, so Lucid's just got to get us a car, basically.
They
I told them we really want to lease one or buy one or whatever it takes to get one, or a test car. It doesn't matter to me. And they were like, oh, sorry. So anyway, Alyssa's driving her e-tron across the country, which normally would be a pain in the ass. But I do agree with you, Alyssa. This is going to be so much slower on the trip.
I think we'll be right. We'll be with each other the whole time, except for you have supercharging access and I don't. So.
That's true. I can supercharge with this truck. We'll probably be at different stations from time to time.
Yeah, definitely, probably, most likely. So, but that's okay. We've done a cross-country trip together with him, just him and I, so we can make it. Never in the e-tron, but she's fine. She charges great.
150 kilowatts to 80%. Thing's a ripper.
She's flat, she's consistent. I know what I'm getting out of her, and so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I really think on the initial full charge, this is going to be real fun as soon as we pull out of here. At what percent we show up to the first charging station, I think I'm going to beat you.
I think for the first leg, probably.
Yeah, that's what I actually think. I will have more total range, but your charging will be better.
Yeah, so I think within the long run of the road trip, I would be able to get across country quicker.
Yes, absolutely. 10% challenge, you win. Initial charge, maybe I win. You've got, I don't know, just under 90 kilowatt hours to work with, something like that, mid 80s. It's, probably degraded a little bit. We only charge it to 50% every day.
Yeah.
Which is like less than 100 miles of usable range.
But we'll see. I truly don't know. It's been a while. I think the last time it's been on a long road trip is when we moved out here 5 years ago. So it hasn't really...
No, we bought this after we moved out here.
Oh, yeah, but we did drive it out here.
We drove it from Connecticut.
So it's been about 4 years or so that it...
Yeah, that was it's the last road trip 4 years ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been on something very far. I mean, it's been like to Aspen and back or something like that, but other than that, not really much, so...
All right, cool. Well, Walter's in for a very luxurious and comfortable ride. Alyssa will use her massaging seats, which will be great. And I will be relying on the Rivian with the new and improved thermal strategy and charging performance. So this let me just briefly walk you through what's changed, and then we'll monitor it through the trip to see how well the new charging performance is going to hold up, because it's not going to get much of a break pulling this trailer. It's going to be stressing the thermals. Rivian thermal management is something I have been annoyed with since day one. I could give my early truck a pass because it was their first ever product. This is the generation 2 Rivian R1T, and not much seemed to improve with the second generation. You see, there's 2 different battery packs on this truck stacked on top of each other. Essentially one pack, but 2 sets of modules with a central cooling plate. And that central cooling plate is really not so effective at cooling the cells from top to bottom, because they're both sort of interfaced on the bottom, so the bottom cells are upside down. That's where most of the heat comes from in the cell. Oh, Walter just jumped in the e-tron. That was amazing. I know you guys didn't see that, but he just leaped up like a gazelle. With all that said, the earlier software on the Rivian Max Pack especially has been brutal. I've made very many videos about it, and I've just been a little bit annoyed as a customer and someone that really wants to see Rivian succeed. Most people AC charge at home 99% of the time. This is the worst case for an electric car, towing, long distance. However, it still is fun to see what's doable, what's usable, and what the current status is. So Rivian took all our feedback and the owners and really figured out how to maximize that cell that's in there, the Samsung 53G cell. And now, assuming temperatures are in control, it will hold 200 kilowatts to just over 60% state of charge. We're not talking Taycan, we're not talking anything crazy here, but that's such an improvement from early software, which is actually on our R1S that's in there that Scott drives primarily. So that's on early software. This is on new software at the time of this recording. And Scott's car would do 123 kilowatts at 50%. That's the early software. Now it does 200 kilowatts to 60, a massive improvement, but the thermals might still be an issue. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on this trip. There's a new energy app. I'm really curious to see if it helps me with towing at all and trailering, both being the same thing. With all that said, I think it's time to figure out where our first stop is going to be. I have no idea what to expect for efficiency at all. I'm kind of thinking we might be okay because these are cars and they're relatively aerodynamic, but my bike is up there sort of sideways, and yeah, it's just not going to be super efficient no matter which way we do it. People are going to just think we are the weirdest folks pulling up to a charging station with this collection of vehicles on a trailer. It's hilarious. So what we're going to do is I got to rearrange the cars here, put everything in the hub, hit the road. This is charged up to 100%. The e-tron's charged up to 100%. And we are going on a road trip over 1,800 miles back to North Carolina. Again, not leaving Colorado permanently, but North Carolina will be home. This is sort of the announcement of that as well. I'm excited to be at the track every day. Gonna do a lot of ripping around. Can't wait. We've got all the cars put away over here at the hub now, and it's just the Tron and the Riv. I am so curious to see how this all goes. Again, I have access to the Tesla supercharging at the time of this recording. Volkswagen Group is supposed to get it soon, Alyssa, but not soon enough.
No.
Both you and my mom actually drive Volkswagen Group products. She has the Macan, you have the e-tron.
Right,
and
yeah.
you both want supercharging access.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be so much better.
Get with the program, Germans. Come on now.
Well, BMW's got it. Do they? Actually, maybe not.
No Germans.
No Germans? Yeah. I feel like we're missing Mercedes. I don't even remember. I think Mercedes has access now. All right, Drooly boy, you ready for a road trip? Got your fans on?
Fans ripping.
Fans ripping.
Wiping.
You know, it is a lot of drool to deal with, but he's a really sweet dog.
You're especially drooly too, which thing when you're yeah, you're a sweet boy.
So you got this thing 187 miles at 99% or so. Reset your trip odometer, all right? You know how to do it? I'll take care of it for you. Let's run through and reset everything in here. Oil change, Alyssa, you didn't change the oil in this thing?
I never have, but it keeps reminding me, so I probably should bring that in soon.
It definitely needs an oil change. Yeah. How crazy is it that also the Germans...
They did fix that on the newer models. Mine is just the 1 year that they didn't fix.
Yeah, but they can't update it.
No. Yeah.
All right. Old school start button. Alyssa loves this thing, but I get it. I just turned it on. I know the drive system's active. Oh, I'm so glad you're driving this across the country.
Yeah, you love this car.
I do love this car. That's true. That's true. Front passenger airbag off. Thank you. Oil change. Go away. I'm trying to reset the trip computer. Okay, long-term memory. You haven't reset this thing in 3,500 miles. And you get 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, there we go. Reset. Since we purchased this car, we bought it used. You've put 16,000 miles on it in 4 years almost.
It's not bad.
It's not great.
Don't drive it far, but it is the daily driver for me.
Yeah. Great. Well, you got 33,700 miles on this thing.
Nice.
And yeah, it hasn't been full charged in probably 2 years. It's for the first time it's hit 100% in a long time. So yeah, we don't really charge that one up too high. We've got these things are wedged in. I mean, we are held on by pressure. Just a little something here in case the lid wants to pop up on us, but we've got some extra bungees. I just went through, did all the extra strap checks. We are locked and loaded. Everything 4 points of contact, nice and strapped down, ready to rock and roll. And now let's jump in the Rivian. Towing across the country. We got tire pressure set on everything. We have to create a new trailer profile here. Trailer 2, we're going to call it Jeff Loaded. How do we rename this? There we go. This Jeff is the name of our trailer. And so Jeff Loaded is part 1. Jeff Unloaded was the sequel. Yeah, Loaded. How do I spell? Loaded. Boom. So the Rivian will actually calculate, depending on the aero drag and load, our current weight of the trailer. That's just an estimate. It's not like a scale weight or anything. And then also our range at 100%. It's expecting less than 200 miles. In fact, almost identical to what the e-tron is expecting at 100% state of charge. Really funny. We'll talk more about towing and setup as time goes, but just to show you how I have everything here in the drive mode option, we are set to low ride height. We are set to ride, feel, and soft. I might actually bump that up if I notice it feels a little bit too weak. High regen, of course. Trip B and Trip A, we can reset either one, really. So let's just reset Trip A. That's from my last road trip. We'll be able to see all of that. And then here's the new energy app. That shows charging curves. We've got it set to 100. It will show us our energy consumed while parked, 600 watt hours in this case, and our energy consumed while driving. And the tip is you can expect reduced range while towing. Thank you. That goes for gas and electric. Nothing unique here for electric. The problem towing electric isn't really the range. The range is actually fine and not too dissimilar, especially with a big battery. Like if you have a Silverado EV or something, that's really the best tow rig for electric. Like it's not that dissimilar from gas on the initial full charge. The problem is when you get to a charger, first of all, chargers aren't really set up for pull through or for trailers yet. Some stations are, but many aren't. So we'll probably have to unhook a few times. The benefit we have in the Rivian is a front charging port, which is great. The second problem with towing on an electric car, Alyssa knows this really well as well, is the charge times. Because you're not just hopping charger to charger. I mean, you kind of are. You're burning so much energy between them. You've got to charge deep. And if this is your first EV video, electric car batteries charge faster when they're dead and slow down as they fill up. And so that's the problem. You got to charge deep and then you can't go that far afterwards. So they're actually perfect and better from combustion for short range towing around town. Even like a 1 or 2 stop trip, they're fine. 2,000 miles across the country towing at pretty heavy and pretty unaerodynamic, maybe not so great. So we're going to be battling charge station locations. We got to charge deep. And because we're towing, the truck's going to be under harder load. It may not get those cool off periods in between the charging sessions to really get to a cold enough temperature to accept a high charge rate again. That's what we're all going to find out. Should be really interesting. Wish we were doing this with a Sierra or Silverado, but again, we just had the Rivian here and it just was easy. This was kind of a last minute trip. We made a few extra days. We're planning on like 3 days for the trip. And it should be really fun. So Walter's getting some treats, it looks like, and some photos. You have 1 million photos of Walter. And, so what's your car showing for range, Alyssa?
187 miles.
That's what your car says?
Yeah.
You know what mine says?
What?
189 miles.
So where are we stopping?
Well, we're going to have to recalculate that once we...
I don't know how to use this.
You got to put yours in efficiency mode.
Oh, it's in efficiency mode.
Oh, yeah?
No. Now it is.
Now it is. Should drop down a little bit. Lower that ride height. I don't know. We're just going to get on the road. Figure out where we're going to stop. You're dropping? Nice. Get that arrow. I think I'm going to be the one holding us up on this trip. All right, I'll figure out where we can stop. We could stop at the supercharger in Thornton, but I feel like we have way more range than that.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. See you on the road. We'll figure it out as we go. Guys, this is where we are heading to Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, which is basically where the old out-of-spec and now, again, future out-of-spec track is located. You can see all these locations are the Rivian high-power charging network. We will have a couple of those that we're able to hit. There's one in Flagler right there. There's another one in the middle of Kansas. There's some Iona stations along this way, which I'd love to hit, as they are one of our sponsors on the reviews channel, so would love to check them out. But we're heading to northern North Carolina, Garysburg, Roanoke Rapids, Lake Gaston area, which is a great spot. And that is the plan. So the Rivian wants us to go, I-70 all the way through, and then it wants us to drop hardcore down this way. I don't know. We might end up going through West Virginia, but the chargers get really rough in West Virginia, which is why it might have us do this. Its first stop that it's recommending is the Flagler Rivian Adventure Network site, which is a really great one and can totally accommodate towing. It's also next to an Electrify America charging station, and both networks are open to everyone. So it's thinking Flagler, which is the I-70 diner, is our first stop.
That has no actual diner.
The diner, we've never seen it open.
It would be great.
It would be great, but I think that would be a great first stop. So let's try it out, see if we can do it, and I'll try and stretch it to Flagler. It's 174 miles.
You can draft behind me.
Oh, that's right. I can draft behind you. All right, I'll follow you out of here. Off to Flagler. We are making a quick stop at Buc-ee's for a snack, and I always like to do sort of an initial quick check of the straps on everything. So everything's looking good so far. Man, we got hit with a massive rainstorm and then it just stopped. We're about 17 miles into our trip, and we used 10% capacity. So that would indicate about 170 miles on a full charge. I did the calculation on weight. We are just about 7,000 pounds. Not that heavy, nowhere near the maximum towing rating, 11,000 pounds on this truck. Of course, we probably are right up on the tongue weight though, based off how we are loaded. So I'm going to check all 12 straps, make sure we're good, and we're just going to have to drive slow to make it to Flagler. Now, I could pop over here and plug into this supercharger. So could Alyssa. It's a Magic Dock site, so it's open to every electric car, but it'd be kind of a pain to unhook and charge when we're just running in to get snacks and just starting off. It's a great start point. We can still make it to Flagler, I think, with the range remaining. So we're just doing a quick, make sure everything's nice and tight on all the straps. Nothing shifted. I tried to accelerate pretty hard, brake pretty hard, put it into some dynamic situations on the initial leg. And so far, man, everything's feeling legit, nice and tight, just how we like it. Yeah, if you can't play the guitar on your strings, you're not tight enough. I'm just joking. You don't want to over tight them. And this is, kind of sketchy, but whatever. So yeah, we're all good and loving it. So should be good to rock and roll for the rest of the trip. And Alyssa should be getting snacks. As soon as we get those over to the car, I've got Climate off. We'll get right back on the road. But as you can see here, the Rivian says we won't be able to make it the 160 miles to the RAN station. I have told the system I'm okay with a 1% arrival before it starts rerouting. We'll use all this battery, and here we are now down to 89%. So it should be fun. Well, super cool. Got to meet some of my buddies over here, and then also this other Rivian owner who that's a loaner car for theirs that's in for service. Looks like they're working on the supercharger over here. That Model Y is like a Tesla support vehicle. That BMW is just there charging on Magic Dock. All pretty cool. Love to see the maintenance, continued maintenance to the charging network. I did notice I was here last night. The handles were getting a little bit crunchy, I guess is the best way to describe them, like cracking a little bit on the surface. And here they are replacing every single cable. So, man, that is insane.
So I did not film the trip into Buc-ee's, but here we are. And here's all the goods. One bag for me, one bag for Kyle. And I left Walter over here in the Audi dog mode, which is just auxiliary climate keep. And it should have worked just fine. Let's see. Yep. Stayed nice and cool for you, bud, didn't it? Fans are rocking. All right, let's go get these to Dad.
Check this out. We got food delivery service over here at the Buc-ee's. My dad's favorite place is Buc-ee's, by the way. Shout out to my dad for making great YouTube videos. Go to Out of Spec Dave's channel. Whoa.
I got you some stuff. You got a salad, you got a jerky stick, you got a sandwich, you got your pretzels, and you got a fruit cup, and you got a water.
Oh, amazing. And what's up with these? I can't eat those.
Why not? You love these.
I love them, but not healthy.
Oh, just eat them.
Rock and roll. Thanks very much. How much juice you burn? What state of charge you at? 90. I'm at 89. We're close. We are close.
I had to keep on climate for him, okay?
Okay, we're going to have to drive really gently to Flagler. All right, let's try and maximize that full charge range. All right, see you on the road. All right, next stop is Rivian Adventure Network and also EA Flagler, 160 miles at 90%. Damn, I hope we can do this. If we can't make this, this trip is going to suck. All right, let's rock and roll. Off we go. Nice and gently to Flagler. There's our buddies. See you guys. And, yep, we're rolling. Here's the supercharger guy replacing the cables. Thanks very much. Folks, you join me for our 50% state of charge check-in. We are halfway through our battery range and we have made it almost nowhere. In fact, we have traveled so far. Let's pull up the energy app, actually. We have traveled 90 miles, which indicates 180 miles on a full charge. Very similar to what the e-tron was predicting, but I bet the e-tron still has more range by the time we get there. We have another 84 miles to go, which means we should, in theory, if all conditions remain the same, be able to make it. Man, this road is paved like crap, isn't it? I'm just avoiding all these giant holes in the road so we don't get a blowout. Oh, Alyssa just went right into that one. So anyway, with all that said, we've got 4 miles predicted. For the longest time, Rivian was like, hey, you won't make it. You won't make it. I'd love for it to show me percentage on arrival as well as distance on arrival in miles, because miles doesn't mean anything to me, especially when you're towing like this. And also, I'd love for it to tell me negatives. By how much will I not make it? The question is, I can stop here and top up really quick at this charge point station. It's only 62 kilowatts and a little bit annoying, and you know, I'd prefer to just keep trucking if we can. And then normally I'd be okay stopping in Lyman. There's high powered charge point units there powered by Hion or Hylion or something like that. However, those are all decommissioned or unavailable. They're, you know, real-time status in the ChargePoint app says not possible. The Rivian got the status as well. It doesn't even show those. It's showing an EV Connect station here. So as far as I'm concerned, 83 miles, 49%, 65. I feel like maybe if I drop it to 64, 63, we should be able to make it. It's going to get really windy up ahead, is kind of what the windy app is saying. So if I just put in a little bit of buffer, drop the speed, I can draft behind Alyssa if I need to. We should be good. Just going to cruise nice and gently between 60 and 65. There's no one on the roads out here, so we're not really holding anyone up. And yeah, I say we just take advantage of that full charge range that we have. It's the best way to get this trip started. And off we go to Flagler. I think the initial plan sticks. It's just using every ounce of juice that we have in the battery pack.
Slowing us down. What? You're constantly slowing us down.
We have a strap issue.
Got a snake in our boot, but it looked like
this. Well, we had it wrapped up nice and tight here, but you can see it just shifted just a little bit where it didn't hold it in anymore. So we're gonna go the old out of spec method, which
trust me, it's good. It's the only way to go.
And it's just kind of throw it in here, do a little. Jam it up into something, and then we're good to go. We are still cruising in the middle of I-70. I'm currently drafting Alyssa at the moment because we are at 3% state of charge and 5 miles left to go. The wind really is picking up hardcore, but it's mostly a side wind, so the drafting isn't really helping very much, but it's still not hurting us. And in fact, it probably is helping a bit. So since she's here and we have the e-tron, I figured, yeah, let's do it. I'll follow pretty close. No one's out here. It's all safe, all good. And we do have a power limit. Came in at around 8%, 7% state of charge. We had the little power limit show, no problems. Towing with an EV down at this low state of charge, you just want to be gentle on it. You don't want to sit at wide open throttle or hard power for too long, because if there is a weak cell in the battery, then it can cause a premature shutoff. And we've seen EVs while towing shut off at 1, 2, 3, 6% state of charge if they're just under load for a while. Now, this is a fresh, brand new battery. This truck only has a couple thousand miles on it, so things are good. But so I'm not too worried about that. Now, here we have a warning that says battery almost empty, and basically puts us into turtle mode or close to it. So Alyssa's got to go up one on her cruise control, hopefully. We're like a half a mile an hour off, so we can't just stay locked in completely. So hopefully she's recognizing that I'm coming up on her and she'll push it up a little bit. But we'll bank it, no problem. We got 4 miles left to Flagler, and yeah, 3% state of charge, plenty of juice remaining. No issues at all, but we definitely maximized our first charge distance. Uh-oh, we just got the exclamation point on the dash. That means we're right at bottom voltage. It's 1 mile to the exit. I think we can make it. Fingers crossed. 0.9 miles. We should be able just to coast at this point. So we should be good. But man, that wind really killed the efficiency at the end. Good thing we put a little bit of buffer in. At one point, I had this thing showing 10 miles of range on arrival. And good thing I really kept the speeds in check right up until we really did have to drop the speed a little bit at the end. But 65 miles an hour seems to be a good speed for us. And it is a little bit of a downhill into the charging station. So I think we'll make it no problem. But that was quite exciting. Used up all 140 something kilowatt hours. Curious to see what the energy app says when we get over here to the charger. We have arrived to the Rivian Adventure Network. These are the new Rivian dispensers that are open to every vehicle. Now, Alyssa's over there plugging into EA, I guess. She could come over here and plug into Rivian, depending on pricing. Although I think Rivian just raised their prices and it's quite juicy. So we'll take a look at that. So we are at 1% state of charge. We, holy smokes, used that entire battery pack, didn't we? So we used 134.8 kilowatt hours. Keep in mind, when there's more load, is that 134, but we gained 7.7 because of regen? Yeah. So I guess, is that from Buc-ee's or from the hub? I guess from the hub. So we got 1.3 miles per kilowatt hour at an average speed of 55. There was some traffic and we burned the juice. What's the battery pack temperature right now? A little warm. And I don't think the truck preconditioned to the charger because we were getting here at such a low state of charge. It wanted to conserve energy. With that said, I'm actually going to shut climate off so it can divert as much cabin cooling or cooling power in general to the battery pack during this charging session. So really windy out here. Let's get it plugged in and juicing up. Super windy out here right now. Opening up the charging port for the first of many stops. Price and info, 52 cents per kilowatt hour for Rivian, 61 cents for other cars. I believe the EA is cheaper for Alyssa, so I think that is smart that she went over there to save, don't spend any extra money for the same experience, basically. The e-tron can charge perfectly at 150 kilowatt stations or 350 kilowatt stations. It doesn't matter. It wants 350 amps, and both chargers can give it. This wants 500 amps. And I've done a whole road trip showcasing the more stable and improved charging performance of the Rivian Max Pack. So let's see how well this thing charges. It's going to need a deep charge. And man, it's going to be really interesting to see if we can total up the costs. It's going to be tough though, because a lot of it's stored in the Rivian, and this isn't under my account. But we'll total up the costs of, first charging stop, failed. Unplug and charge and try again. And that one went red. Wow, that's the first issue I've really ever had on a Rivian Adventure Network site. What I was going to say is, let's see if it's more or less expensive to tow with an EV or a diesel or gas. I think we all know the answer. It's going to be more expensive. It'd take way longer. Just says error. Oh no, I got an error over here. You can charge on these, Yeah. What's the price over there, Alyssa? You don't know what the price is at EA? What was that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, check. Before I moved the truck and trailer, I unplugged and plugged back in, and it says this may take a moment. Super windy. Let's see. There we go. Now it's charging. We didn't need to move the truck. It was just a little bug. Now it's working. No bugs at EA. It was good.
Yeah.
Great.
New station.
All right. Well, we'll let this thing rip. So I have no idea what our next stop is, but we're going to let this thing juice and ramp up and go full send. And I'm going to go check on the e-tron and see how that's charging. But so far, good trip. What state of charge did you arrive with?
I had about 20 miles of range left.
20 miles of range? What's that in percent?
I don't know.
Okay.
18.
It should say in your app, right? We are juicing up the e-tron over here. Typical Audi charging curve, just rips 140, 150 kilowatts to 80 every single time. We've been here 7 minutes. You got here at 16%. So you do have more range.
Yes.
Whoa, it's so windy out here. Crazy. We just met the pickleball librarian. Shout out to this guy. And we'll see you later. Super cool. Been driving EV for like a year, just figuring it out. He's like, man, the wind is really affecting the range. I'm like, yeah, brother. So watch some motoring videos. Let's take a look at your efficiency in the Tron. Oil change due. Charging is in progress. One cool thing Audi does is they do give you nice stats while charging. So you're already at 40%. I don't think I've even hit 10% yet, Alyssa. It's going to be a long road trip. All right, let's see. Where's our trip computer? Long-term memory. Okay, so you got 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. I got 1.3. We knew that was going to be different.
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't efficient, but she's still thirsty and it's windy.
Yeah, but 2.7 is pretty good for the Tron, but we were going slow.
Yeah, I mean, like 50 miles an hour, so slow.
Yeah, sorry, but I made it here with the exclamation on saying it was about to shut down.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we perfectly timed it. Yeah, so we'll put it back onto the charging display and let this thing rip up, and we can even drive around after you're done charging.
Oh, yeah.
I think just to save the battery on the Tron, because we're going to need to not charge it up to 100 all the time, is I'm going to set the charging limit to 90. Boom. 90%. Great. There we go. Yep, it's saved. Okay, well, that's good.
Good.
We are still ripping at 200 kilowatts. I wonder when we're going to hit max temp. It doesn't totally matter. The e-tron's already at like 60 something percent. But hey, this is a huge battery and it doesn't charge that much faster than the e-tron. E-tron does 150. We do about 200 kilowatts, but we've got not quite twice the battery pack, but not far off to fill up. In terms of the next stop, let's figure out what we want to charge to. Of course, we're not going to leave if we're getting full charging performance. Anywhere in that 200, I'd say 180 to 220 kilowatt range is where we're definitely going to stay. We can show superchargers that are open as well. The next stop would be this charge point station, which I kind of don't really want to do. And there's also an Iona station in not Goodland, but not far away from Goodland. Is this it? Electrify America, Colby, EV Connect. I'll have to double check, but there is an Iona station that we could totally get to somewhere in this region. So I'll see if we can make it there from here. And if not, we'll have to stop at one of these along the way.
It's been so quick. We're already at 70% here, still hanging out at 150 kilowatts. This guy's just enjoying roaming around on his own. And Kyle is, still, that's going to be a while.
I think we have a pretty good trip plan. Actually, the Rivian did what makes the most sense from my perspective, just shutting off climate control so we can keep ripping. Let's see if I can zoom out. Why isn't it showing me the full trip? Anyway, we'll do it this way. We've got 22 minutes left to here. We'll charge up to whatever this percent is. It'll show me in the energy app. We'll go to Colby, Kansas. We've got a couple bailouts along the way. And then we're going to go to Waukene, which is an Iona station. And then there's also a Rivian station not far from there in Hayes, which I haven't been to. No, we have been to that one. So anyway, we've got plenty of options on I-70 now. I would like to use Iona because they're cool and they're new and it's exciting, but we don't necessarily have to. But I haven't charged here, so it's right off the highway. We may as well. Let's just see what it thinks we need to charge to at the charging thing. It says charge to 71%, which is perfect. That's where we get most of our high power charging, up to about 60 to 70% state of charge in this thing. Still ripping over 200 kilowatts. It's awesome. No Rivian before could hold 34% of high power charging without overheating. So I'm really glad to see the improvements here. Even though it's not class leading, it's not perfect. They really did what they could to make these max packs charge better than before by far. Totally acceptable charging now. With that said, we're going to let this thing juice up for another 20-25 minutes or so. Let's check on the e-tron and see how that's going. Walter is in training, it looks like. Is he in training?
He's training. It's for obedience, AKC obedience.
Oh.
So there's different things he has to learn to do, like healing. Good. And sitting. Good. Front. Good. Finish. Good boy.
Well, Alyssa is totally going to smoke me on this road trip. She's already up to 80% in 20 minutes. That's that e-tron lifestyle. 150 kilowatts, still at 79%. Thing's a monster.
She is. A little 2019er.
Yeah, it's amazing how many cars still can't charge as well as the e-tron did in 2019.
A lot can't. So yeah, that's...
It's no lucid gravity, but it's still pretty respectable. So nice. Love to see this. That's great. Alyssa's e-tron just completed at 90% state of charge. We're over here at 47%. And we did probably get a little bit toasty on the battery pack because I've seen this thing hold 200 kilowatts to 60%. It's probably just holding it right at max temp. And you can see exactly where that happened. Boom, we were ripping. All is good, 211 kilowatts. And then boom, hit max temp and just shot down. The nice thing is it doesn't just completely crash like previous Rivians on the old software. When they used to hit max temp, they would boom, go into the ground. At least it holds and recovers gracefully. Still, Rivians need better thermal management, but at least the software seems so much better at responding to issues like this. It's hard to totally complain when it's this much of an improvement.
And just like that, she is done charging. So let's get her unplugged. Here's the summary. What we got there, almost 60 kilowatt hours, $30. Save $10 by having the pass. So let's get this snoof back. Walter! There you are! Come on! Let's go! Hello! Not out, please. Load. Get it! Good boy. Well, I'm done. Where are you at?
51%.
51.
Yeah, but I've put in 83 kilowatt hours, which is more than you got.
Yeah, I only put in just about 60.
60 kilowatt hours?
Yeah. Maybe not. Forget what I said just 2 seconds ago.
Well, I'm 84 added to the battery.
Wow. I'm still at 90%. I'm ready to go.
13 minutes.
13 minutes, that's it?
That's what the Rivian wants.
Okay. To get to where?
Colby.
Colby, Kansas. You wanna go to Colby, Kansas? I bet you've already been there. You've made this stretch before. And one of those.
We are getting close to when the Rivian says we can leave. It says 1 more minute left, Alyssa. But I think I have it programmed to get us to chargers at 1% state of charge. So let's just put back in, the trip to the Iona station, which is eventually 2 stops away. And it's going to program in Colby. It says charge to 71%. We've done that. If I hit continue, it says we're going to get there with 9 miles of range. And again, we know the wind is bad. So I'm just going to put in another 9% of buffer. We'll charge to 80 and then we'll hit the road. Does that sound all right? Interesting fact. 120 kilowatts, what we're doing here at about 71%. This is what MaxPack used to do around 50% state of charge, at least during my last road trip. Really a nice improvement here from charging. Not perfect, but very nice. We won't keep harping on it, but I just have to say I'm happy Rivian really focused on doing what they could. So another couple minutes left to 80%, and then we'll hit the road and I'll give you the final cost and how long we've been here for. We are getting close to 80% state of charge, which means we have wrapped up our time in Flagler, Colorado. What's Walter doing?
Drinking water.
Oh, drinking some water. All right. Let's analyze our charging curve this session. We were ripping, got hot, and then, or had a big temperature differential, or the charge port inlet got hot. I would like Rivian to tell you why it's tapering. We just hit 80%. But normally it would hold a little bit higher, deeper if we were to plug in deeper. But that's a really good run from 0 to, let's just call it 40% state of charge or so, ripping flat out. Then it didn't really fall at 150 kilowatts livable. And down to here, pretty good. Just gave me a warning. It said pack is near the charge limit. We've slowed down 80 kilowatts at 80%. Definitely not worth sitting here, especially if it thinks we can make it to Flagler in 110 miles with 28 miles of range remaining, which means we can actually drive maybe a bit faster this leg. We won't have to go, to Colby. That's right, Colby. We may not have to drive 50 miles an hour anymore, Walter. Let's see. I'm going to hit that ejecto seat button. Actually, let's take a look at the info here. Oh, okay. Maybe it'll show after we stop charging. Here we go. Releasing. It says unplugged vehicle, $65. Holy smokes. And it's more expensive for non-Rivians. 47-minute charging stop, 126 kilowatt hours. This Rivian comes with free charging because it's a Rivian internal vehicle. So that cost us nothing, actually.
$3.99.
That's really, we don't get much of that, I don't think. But there's not many Rivian stations. But shout out to Rivian for the free juice.
Okay, that's, we take what we can get.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let's rock and roll. Let's not delay. See what the battery pack temp is sitting at. I think it had a chance to cool down a bit. Yeah, 129. Totally livable. Fire this thing up and we're off on the next leg. We did 174 miles from 100 to 0, basically. And we only got 135 kilowatt hours out of it. And that's probably because we were under load and there was more heat loss. I guess if you were gentle on it without a trailer, you could get 140, 142 kilowatt hours plus or minus usable. All right, backing this big girl up. Should be nice and easy, no problems. This trailer is pulling like a dream, by the way. I don't even know it's back there. There's another Rivian owner. we are off. Ioniq 6 over here pulled up. Sweet. And the I-70 diner that sadly has never been open. Although it says there's something coming soon. What does it say? Alex Taverna. Coming soon. Okay. Don't know what that is. Let's rock and roll. Back on the I-70 East. Guys, I kind of messed up our trip plan. We probably should not have charged so deep at the Rivian charger. We don't actually have to stop right now, but this was the charger I was thinking, Goodland, Kansas. I don't know why I couldn't remember it. But it looks like there's some construction here. It looks like maybe a tornado came through, wind knocked this fence down. I don't know. Crazy things going on out here, that's for sure. But what I was kind of thinking was, I don't know why the fence down at the moment. I wanted to at least stop and charge here. So we could have just done a quick top up in Flagler, come here, and then have gone to the next Iona station, which is in Wakini. Now, since we're here, we may as well just top up, because I'd love to charge on Iona, and we're going to this trip, and then we can stretch it from here to Wakini. The nice thing is with the Rivian is we kind of get a boost charging profile, so even plugging in at 30%, 37% isn't the end of the world. And the reason I missed this, we're only 38 miles from our EA stop. The reason I missed this was Rivian doesn't show Iona stations yet. They will soon, is what I'm told, but it's just not sorted yet. So, yeah, I'll probably have Alyssa. I don't even think she needs to plug in, but if we're going to Wakini, maybe she will. Let me at least get juicing since we're here. I want to check this site out. I was here before it was on and powered, so I at least want to do a little plug share check-in and show that we're over here and do some of that kind of stuff. Super nice immersion cooled cables, single-handed. We're right in there. How about that? Nice cable management if needed as well. You can just kind of pull these out, which is cool. Love that. So I literally plug in. I'm going to tap my card, and that's how you activate an Iona station. Super easy. So again, I'm not sure why I missed this station. We've been here before. I should have had it from memory, but let's talk to Alyssa. So the question is, do we just go down to the original plan, which is the EA station in Colby, or we can go from here to Wakini? So we're 38 miles from Colby. Can you look up Iona Wakini and see how far away we are from there? Because it would be, you know, as long as this charges at full power, we may as well charge, right? To get the juice. We're already stopped. So we'll at least charge until we taper. And yeah, we're initiating. Everything's going well so far. Rivian hasn't started charging yet. It says preparing power delivery from the charger side. What does it say in here? It says starting, and we're charging. Nice. Plug, tap the card, and charge. Love to see it. Love the canopies. Love this station. Last time we were here, it wasn't powered on, Alyssa, you know? So how far is that Wakini, Iona?
It is 110 miles.
110 miles. We could do that. If I charge up to like 70?
Okay.
How much range do you have? 110 miles. Right on the dash, right there.
Well, I ain't risking it.
No, may as well top up a little bit.
Yeah.
Charge it up to 80. Nice. Fun. Iona. I don't know why didn't we think to come here earlier?
Because it doesn't route us there.
Yeah, Iona's too new to be in all these routing systems, and for some reason PlugShare wasn't showing this station. I think I accidentally had lodging selected in the filters, and so that's fixed now. How you doing, Walter?
He's good now that both fans are on. It was just one fan for a bit there, but I just turned on the second one and he is no longer turning around in circles.
So he's happy with the dual fan action.
Dual fan action. He's not happy with this bed. It's a little too lumpy for him, but I think you're just going to have to survive, buddy.
Okay, cool. Love to see it. Let's see how we're juicing. Oh yeah, 210 kilowatts. May as well get it while we're getting it. We'll top up the e-tron. I say we skip EA, just head straight to the next Iona station and hop Ionas. I much prefer these stations.
Much prefer. Okay. Plug me in.
Yep. Why don't you, well, I kind of blocked the whole end of the station over here. But yeah, I can plug you in. If you want to just leave it there, it'll reach. I think it'll reach. It's a little bit of a wonky park job, but let me pull the cable management out. Oh, easy. All day it'll reach. Nice.
I don't think we're going to have much company.
No, people don't really know about the Ionas yet because they're not in the nav systems.
Nope, they're just these pretty looking things from the view.
Yeah.
From the road.
Well, our parking situations are not on point, but again, no one's here and should be fine. This is the 24/7 travel store, Qdoba, snacks, anything you could need in there. It's a really great stop. I'm actually going to run in and go pee. Alyssa doesn't need much of a top up, so while she's here, she may as well juice up. It's pretty inexpensive. It's only 37 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh, that's a lot cheaper than the EA.
Yeah, it's like 7 cents cheaper than EA, I think, something like that. Yeah, it's going through preparing. And let's just double check that price. 39 cents per kilowatt hour. Sorry, so it's not that much cheaper than EA. EA is 42 cents with Pass Plus, which we have. It's like 56 cents usually when you don't have Pass Plus. But this is no idle fee, no flat fee, and you can, basically go through all of those. Let's take a look at our charging session. Well, we are a little bit off max right there. You can see we were ripping and then it kind of tapered down a bit, but only doing 420 amps here. But that's okay. We're at 45%. I'm just going to run in and pee and then we'll decide. Yeah, I think we'll charge up enough to get to Wakini. May as well. Left some time on the table, but that's all right, bud. Right? We're just chilling this trip. Oh, yeah. Happy Noof. Well, this is weird. Alyssa's pulling full power, 150 kilowatts, right? Full rip in this thing. Actually, I think you just completed. No, still going? Yeah. Going up to 80%. We don't need to charge it anymore. For those who don't know electric cars, charging super high isn't great for them. So 80% is good in that. We have a message here that says charging speed reduced, but not by the Rivian, but actually by the Alpitronic hypercharger. And I went in here to confirm, and it's true. We are being limited by the charging station for some reason, and I'm not sure why. And, that's something I'm going to definitely send the logs over to Alpitronic and Iona and figure out why. It could be inlet port temperature, of course, but it feels warmer than ambient, but not hot, nothing crazy. I mean, the cable's a little bit warmer than I would expect considering we haven't really been here that long. But you can see here the Rivian wanted a bunch of juice, and I think all of this was limited by the charging station. This big dip right here would be my guess. Anyway, we're almost ready to go to the next. I'm going to keep an eye on to see if that happens at other Iona stations. The only thing that I can think, because the cable is warmer than expected, is perhaps the oil-cooled cable for this Amphenol cable is not working, but that's just, we're just spitballing here. Hopefully I can get an answer for you. I'm going to send the logs and maybe we'll even get an answer in this video, but clearly we are being limited by the amperage of the CCS cable or the charger, but whatever the charger's communicating is what's limiting our charging speed is what I'm trying to tell you. Anyway, we'll back out of service mode in the secret menus. I've shown you that many, many times. And we'll go to the Wakini charging station, which is this one right here. And then let's see when it thinks we can make it. And we'll hop Iona to Iona. Oh, that's a long ways away, isn't it? Let's remove charging stops. See what it thinks we'll need to charge up to. 110 miles. Honestly, not too bad. We could charge up to like 70 or 80%. The only problem is if we're limiting, don't necessarily want to sit here. I can always swap to another cable, which we could do on that same unit or a different unit. I say I'm going to swap cables. Let's see what happens. The problem is, we're fortunate enough where this is okay, but this really is a problem in my my guesstimate, is every time you start a charging session on Iona, and I know they're working on this, it gives you a $50 pre-authorization hold on your card. That is given back, of course, and they just bill you for the electricity. But every time you plug in a car, like right now, I've dumped $100 over just to charge both of these cars. And, you know, if you have to plug and unplug, I'm not sure when they release the hold, how long that takes. But it's not unusual. It's not dissimilar from pumping gas. But I really wish they could come up with a different plan here. Because if we have to unplug and plug this one in, that's another $50 hold they got to put on my card. I think Alyssa's all wrapped up with your charging session, right? Nice. How'd it go on your end? Pretty good?
Yeah, solid.
Not so good on my end. I don't know. We were getting a charger limit for power. I've just gone through and started the second session to see how that goes. But we will unhook this one, throw that there, and let's take a look at the details. 80% finished. We did 20 kilowatt hours in 8 minutes, and we averaged up to 80%, 145 kilowatts. e-tron lifestyle. So good for being so old.
She's a good girl.
All right. Well, I guess you got to keep waiting for me as usual. So... also testing. I'm just testing. We're not in a rush. We're playing around. We're seeing what the heck happens. So let's see. We did 38 kilowatt hours in 14 minutes on this one. Let's take a look at our other session. Ramping. Curious if we get back up to full power. Let's see. Here we go. Now the truck's getting everything it wants. 172 kilowatts at 67%. So we'll charge up enough and to get to Wakini. This is totally livable charging now, but I really can't figure out what's going on with this cable. I already reached out to the Alpitronic guys, and they are pulling logs to figure out what's up so that hopefully it doesn't happen to more people out in the field. That's kind of annoying. But so far, so good on this side. We are ripping. Well, I'm figuring we can go about 1.7, 1.8 miles per percent. So as soon as we can technically make it now would be my guess, but I'll charge up just a little bit more. It's not like we're charging that slow. We're doing 140 kilowatts at 70%. And one cool thing that I'm going to do on the way over there, it sounds like cable cooling wasn't totally working on that cable, by the way. We already got our answer on the list, going to get fixed. All good. One cool thing is... the Rivian now supports manual preconditioning. Because we're heading to an Iona station where there is no, they're not in the Rivian yet, I can actually manually precondition as we get closer to make the battery pack in the optimal temperature range for fast charging, which is what we'll do if we have energy to spare. Still doing pretty good up here. I'm going to charge this thing to 80 again. That'll give us hopefully a little bit of buffer. The Rivian still says we won't make it. We do have a supercharger as a backup, but we should be okay. The question is, how are we going to get ourselves out of here? I think I'm going to have to back us all the way down, which should be interesting. I don't really want to throw the trailer back in over there. And this is a long boy, 26 footer. So I think what we're going to have to do is, not go mud bogging in the field. I could go straight through there, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to back her all the way out and around, and shouldn't be a huge issue. EV6 rolled up, pretty sweet. So that'll be the plan. As soon as we hit 80%, out we go. We are charged up totally enough to get going. Actually just met the folks in the EV6 over here. Super nice. Adam and Eve, shout out. Viewers of Corbin, the Ionic guy. Love to see it. So we are juicing. We're all ready to rock and roll here. I think cable cooling issue on this side because that's still pretty toasty. Let's see this. Oh, cold to the touch. So definitely the cooling did not kick on this cable. All right. Well, I will, and I already have relayed all my feedback. We're going to stop charging. And I'm going to have to back this thing out of here. I really wish they made this site trailer friendly. A lot of Iona sites, they say they are trying to make them as trailer friendly as possible. Perhaps that's the case, but I really think even just paving this way for a nice turnaround would have been amazing from my perspective. But let's test my reversing skills and see if I can get out of here and rock and roll. Timon, my colleague, said he was just here the other day with his Model 3 actually, and used that dog park right there. So he said it was awesome. Nice, and the EV6 people love it here as well. They were thrilled to see windshield wiper stations. All right, let's see if we can back this thing out without crashing into anyone. There we are, heading out. Had to back up that whole way, but no problem at all. This trailer, like I mentioned, pretty easy to back up with the wheels all the way in the back. This thing, it's hard to get it wrong with this trailer, which I love. So there goes Alyssa. I guess there she doesn't go. She ain't moving. Come on. We got to go. Every time I turn the AC on after a charging session, we completely fog up in here. What the heck? Can't see anything. It does kick on the AC compressor and blow all this out, but it just steams up the windshield after every charging session so far.
Well, I beat him here. Not by much. But we gotta plug in.
Alyssa's over there getting her e-tron plugged in. We have arrived at 1% state of charge. Now, what I did was manually precondition. Like I was telling you guys, the system's not in here, or the charger's not in here. So I manually preconditioned, but it won't let you do preconditioning below 20% state of charge. So we got to call Rivian and ask them, hey, you got to let that go down to about 5%. We still have another, probably a couple kilowatt hours in there, which would have really helped, because we're coming in, I got the battery down to like 92, 93 degrees. And then by the time we hit 20%, it climbed back up to 107. Because again, when you're outputting that much current at low voltage, yeah, you really get the battery toasty like that right there. So anyway, we're probably going to run into some thermal limits on this charging session, but I'm hoping we don't have cable cooling issues and we're ready to rip. Love the lighting, love the canopy given the weather. The weather's been atrocious, really bad. But again, we just balance speed. We went as fast as we could with the energy we put in here. Yes, we could have gone faster, but we wouldn't have made it. And that's the typical road trip lifestyle. Let me show you the efficiency on this trip, which was, got it, energy monitor. Not good driving efficiency. 1 mile per kilowatt hour on the nose. It was 0.99 until we pulled off the highway right there. And we used, again, everything in the pack. The Rivian says towing uphill or at a high speed will have a greater impact on your range. Honestly, we're the slowest cars out here. Trucks are passing us like crazy. We're doing about 65 miles an hour on average. When it was really raining, we dropped it to 58, 59. And now, when it was dry, we're doing 65 to 68 plus or minus. I'm going to plug in, tap my card, and get this thing charging.
All right, did that all by myself. That was honestly the easiest charging experience I've ever had with a payment terminal. Obviously, Tesla is seamless because it has the plug-in charge, and I think they're gonna try and do plug-in charge with some car manufacturers. Doubt this one will ever get it, but I know I need to go to the bathroom, so I'm sure this guy needs to go to the bathroom, so we will let you out.
Alyssa ran in, but she mentioned her charging station or charging session. What am I trying to say? Session failed, but I noticed she didn't plug in her CCS cable all the way. So it must have just been touching, but not enough to communicate. I think maybe Alyssa didn't 100% realize these have these arms on them so they can come out to reduce tension on the cable. It's not the easiest arm to reach, because if you're like pulling this cable out, for example, and you want to get the extension, that's a bad example because it came out perfectly. But if you're pulling this way initially, it's hard to get that arm to initially start to rotate. But other than that, once you kind of learn how these chargers work, it's really not bad. We're preparing power delivery. The Rivian's ripping. It's now at 2% at full power, best I can tell. Let's zoom in on that. 185 kilowatts. Should be 500 amps. We can check. This is preparing. Let's go check on the Rivian. Walter's just chilling in the back of the Tron. He's living the dream. He loves road trips. It's so funny. Let's take a look. Active sessions, charging detail, 490 amps, close to 500. She's ripping. I've got climate off on this thing. Everything's off. Just putting as much juice as we can in here. Now, Salina, Kansas is the next big city. I'm going to go through and double check all the straps as I do every charging session. But so far, everything's been great. Salina, Kansas is the next big city, and I think that's where we're thinking about staying tonight, assuming we can find a dog-friendly hotel for the giant back here. A lot of them have weight limits, and no, we can't squeeze you in under the weight limit. They're onto you. They know you weigh more than 40 pounds. That doesn't mean you need to go on a diet. You're just a big dude. You're just a big dude, big fluffy noof. So yeah, he's loving this weather. It's chilly, which is good for battery cooling, actually, to have it this chilly outside. And here we are ripping. Man, she got here at what state of charge? 13%. Not too bad. The Tron, that's not a big difference between these two. I left at 82%. She left at 80, which means there was only about a 10-12% difference between the cars. Wow, not too different. But you guys do charge faster, up to 80%, right, Walter? And you're way more efficient. Even carrying your big booty around, you're more efficient. The Rivian is still ripping along. We've been charging for about 13, 14 minutes, something like that. Full rip, still pulling right around 500 amps, 490. It goes between 490 and 500 amps, but sitting at over 200 kilowatts the whole time. Walter just went and peed, did his thing. It's weird. He jumped in there by himself earlier. Now we got to lift him up. He's not old. He can jump in there. Let's see how the Tron's doing. Love these charging curves. The e-tron charging curve is just beautiful. It looks the same no matter what. It's just 350 amps, and as the pack voltage rises all the way to 80%, just gains power. So predictable, so repeatable, never changes. They're just awesome. Love these e-trons. Really, there's only one fatal flaw to these, which is the front motor can leak coolant and grenade itself, but Audi extended the warranty for like a way long time on those, and then you're good to rock and roll. There was a battery recall on a few of them. This one I don't think was included, but other than like a couple little teething issues, you're great, and they seem to have extended the warranties on all the known major flaws. We love this thing. It's been awesome. It's not worth very much. You can pick these up for under 30 grand all day long. Get the Prestige trim with the big Bang & Olufsen sound system, massaging seats, all that stuff. Best daily driver if you have cheap electricity, because they are thirsty. I was curious why we're really derating on charging here. It should still be doing 200 kilowatts. So I went into service mode and found we have reached the maximum cell temperature allowed, which is around 56 almost 57 degrees Celsius. They did raise it on this software, so they're letting it get a little bit warmer. It used to be like 54, 55, but not by much. And you can see we are well under the available current from the charger. Most chargers stay a little bit ahead of what you're pulling, and then we'll ramp up to 500 as you get closer. These will actually do 600 amps, these chargers here, which is great. You can hear cooling is kicking on, full send, shutting off, kicking on. And it just pulls a little bit more power here, but I don't think any extra is going into the battery. I think this is just showing, hey, the cooling systems are using more juice. So what I'm thinking is we should give ourselves a good enough buffer to get to the Tesla charger where we don't arrive super dead with a hot battery, because we're balancing thermal management here. And so if I can charge up to give us a pretty good buffer to get to this Tesla station, we can cool down on the way, do a deep charge at Tesla, and then go to Salina. And I think that makes the best use of our time, because again, the level 2 charger at the hotel in Salina, assuming we can get it, is going to be really slow and not enough to full charge this thing overnight. So we do want to arrive pretty high up in the pack to try and start our day off with as much energy tomorrow as possible. So super cool. Just met this guy who was here cleaning up the station. Really nice guy. Was talking all about the cars. Really cool. So it shows 21 miles on arrival to the Tesla station. So I feel like we're pretty much good to go. The pack is just sitting at 56 degrees Celsius max temp. So we are just riding that heat wave over here, and the AC's doing what it can. But again, that central cooling plate can't get all the cooling to all the cells. The Tron should be good to go. We're going to charge this thing up to 95. It's at 90%. So once you hit 95%, we'll unplug, go. I've got to do one more charge. Really? Yeah, I'm only at like 50 something percent. And so I'm going to stop a little bit closer to Salina at the Tesla supercharger. You cannot charge there though.
So did I just go straight to the hotel?
You can just go to the hotel.
Do you have the automatic check-in thing?
Yeah, digital key. I requested it. If it does, I can share the digital key stuff to you. So should be easy. And yeah, good to rock and roll. So you can just blast there, get charging. block a spot for me?
How would I block a spot for you?
Well, you can at least let me know if a spot is open. No, you won't get there by the time I'm done charging. Yeah, I have your extra key.
Park in between both of them, and then you can move my car.
Oh, well, don't get keyed or anything. We're not here to hog spaces. So that'll be the plan. You can blast once you hit 95%. Actually, let's just do that. We'll just separate now. See you in the morning. Well, I guess see you tonight.
Bye.
All right, see ya. e-tron lifestyle, 30 minutes on the nose to 95%. Pretty much. Just awesome to see that. So we're at 94%. Should tick over any second now. And as soon as that does, we'll unplug you. See you later. Still ripping up top, 69 kilowatts at 95%. Sick. Stop. Yes. 30 minutes. It's all the Tron needs. And you've got not the best range, but you can charge deep in this thing. That's the nice thing with this car. And the thermal management just doesn't care. It'll just rip the same every time, cold, hot outside. That's what happens when you put a bunch of cobalt in your batteries. The early e-trons charge even more consistently than the new ones because a lot of children in Africa mined for your charging performance. Okay, see you later at the hotel. I'm going to the Tesla Supercharger. I've got to do some manual, or I guess we can do automatic en-route battery preconditioning because the Rivian knows the Tesla Supercharger exists. So let's see if our charging performance has recovered at all. The answer is a little bit. We're up to 158 kilowatts, 40 miles on arrival, and we're going to do our deep charge there. Let's take a look at our charging graph. Yeah, this is where we hit max temp and just fell off a ledge. And then it's been trying to recover ever since. But we did put in just about 100 kilowatt hours to get up to 60%. So not terrible, really not terrible. And then we are almost good to go. Here's our stats for the Rivian from 1 to 60%, $37. Very reasonable cost. If I come over here to the charging detail, there's our curve. You can see every time it kicks the AC compressor on and off is all those little bits, because the nice thing with Rivian, at least pulls the extra from the charger to run the AC compressor rather than keeping charging speeds the same. All right, into reverse, Terry. Time to rock and roll. Off to the Tesla Supercharger. All right, let's see if we fog up. I'm going to put the climate control back on after charging again. Yeah, instant fogging up. Dang! Why does it do that? It must have something to do with the AC running for the battery pack. Oh my gosh, can't see a thing. And then it kicks on the AC compressor. It must have something to do with during the charging session, it is ripping, builds up a bunch of condensation, and then blows it all over the windshield as soon as we turn it on. I imagine if I kept climate control running during the charging sessions, this would not happen. But I do turn it off to try to give as much cooling to the battery pack as possible. We have arrived to Russell, Kansas. Don't even have to unhook. I can just pull up right here to the end stall. We're good. I shut the lights off so I didn't blind that guy. And we're going to charge up pretty deep here because the whole goal of this charging session is to get to the Homewood Suites in Salina, which it thinks we can make it to right now without charging, with a bunch of energy so that we can hopefully full charge on their level 2 charger in time for the morning and get a good stretch. I've got a NACS to CCS adapter. I couldn't find any of my official Tesla ones, but I have actually the Ford adapter, which they sent me. So it is an automaker approved one that's designed for 500 amps. And so that should be within spec. It's approved to work on the network, provided by Ford to their customers. It co-developed with Electron, actually. So it has some changes from the Electron one. I've never actually used it. So I had it. I figured, yeah, let's let it rip. So I've plugged in initially. I have no idea if this Rivian has free supercharging or not. What the heck, it does? That's cool. I'll definitely have to reimburse Rivian, or at least I'll offer to, all the charging costs. I didn't know if they had plug and charge set up on superchargers on this truck. I haven't tried it yet. I knew it would have free Rivian charging, but also supercharging is at least hooked up. We'll, of course, offer to reimburse. But I do like that you get the plug and charge experience. So you just plug in and you're good to go. Man, the camera's getting real nasty out here. It's almost a little bit flooded around this way. So my shoes are soaking wet from getting out of the truck. But hey, we're juicing. All is good. The cars are holding on tight. Weather was pretty rough on that stretch. Windy, rainy. And so, yeah, we're just going to charge up pretty deep. We're at, I don't know, 17, 18%, something like that. So let's rock and roll, get a deep charge on. And here we are, ripping along right at, pretty much expected power levels, which is great to see. So it's only 71 miles to get to the Homewood Suites. And Alyssa, well on her way there. She's probably, I don't know, somewhere around Wilson at the moment. She left a little bit before me. It's probably going faster as well. So we'll juice up there and hopefully things will be good. Let's charge up to at least, I don't know, 70, 80%, something like that. I think that Tesla's not plugged in. Anyway, we are charged up to 80%, which is kind of the plan. Doing 86 kilowatts. It's pretty rough. It's getting pretty late. It's midnight at the moment. I'm not getting to the hotel till 1, but it says we'll get there with some good juice. So I'm just going to drive it nice and gentle over there, get word from Alyssa. If I remember correctly, they used to have free charging. Then the last time we stayed at this hotel, they put in charge point units and charged out the ass for them. Either way, we're still going to use them because it's super convenient to charge overnight. But I think that is what Alyssa reminded me. We're like, oh yeah, this is quite expensive. Step in the big puddle. And let's unplug, hit the road, off to the hotel. Man, I'm ready for bed.
Well, Walter and I have made it to the hotel and the charge point station, and so I'm gonna go plug in. It's raining outside and I just want to get inside that hotel room, and I have him. So let's jump out, do that, get this thing on the charger. Hope we get a pretty good amount. These things are pretty slow and they charge way too much. I'm sure Kyle will explain that, but used to be free, so that made us happy then, but now they charge an arm and a leg for charging. But anyways, so yeah, let's get this big girl plugged in and this big boy into the hotel room and go to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning, and you'll see more of Kyle right now.
Just got to the hotel a little bit after Alyssa. I can see her e-trons over there. Thankfully, we have mobile keys, so we can just walk in. Don't have to talk to anyone. That's sweet. Just plugged in. It's $3 an hour to charge here. Holy smokes. So we're paying $6 an hour to charge both cars. But hey, always be charging ABC, especially when we have a trailer like this. We got here at 31% state of charge. No way we're going to be at 100 in the morning. That's where, 48 to 80 amp hotel charging would be great, especially for $3 an hour would really help. But I'm going to grab my suitcase, go to bed, and see y'all in the morning. Good morning, guys. We are getting a late start today, but we got some work done. It's 11 a.m. at the moment. Still got things to do in Salina. I've got to go mail that document and get it notarized. So we've been charging all night, and I have no idea how much we've been paying so far, but it's got to be quite a bit. Yeah, $32 for 58 kilowatt hours. But hey, always be charging. And we've also been paying the same for the e-tron. E-tron's getting under 6 kilowatts. At least we're getting 6.5. Nope, we're getting 5.7. They're both doing about 5 kilowatts. We're up to 67% state of charge, Alyssa. What I was thinking is we could go throw the truck on a DC fast charger and then run our errands. And that way this will get up to 100. What's your car charged to?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go check it. So the e-tron is charged up to 83%. Pretty good. Alyssa got here super low, right? You were in the single digits?
Yeah, I had 8 miles of range left. I was going off of miles. I don't go off percent because it takes forever to go and look and see what percentage is. So.
Yeah, the e-tron, you have to dig menus deep to see percent. It also shows you in the app, which is nice. So we're going to let both those charge up a little bit more. We're going to go get some Starbucks, take Walter for a walk, and then, then we'll figure out what the plan is to get out of town. But I'd say if we can get really cruising on the road in the next hour or so, that would be a good goal.
I would hope so.
On the road by noon. That's our style. We have arrived just a couple miles down the road at the Electrify America in Salina, Kansas. Still pretty far off the highway to get to this one, but good for us because we're in town. This is a Tesla battery buffered EA station. I've shown you guys this a few times. And just plugged in, ready to charge this thing up to 100. Shouldn't take too long, maybe 30, 45 minutes. Again, electric cars really do take a while to charge up top, but with the new MaxPack software, it does top charge a little bit better. So it's already doing 50, 60 kilowatts. Alyssa's coming over, making some room for me in the e-tron, I guess, while we go run some errands. So we'll throw that away. Thanks very much. And it says, when will it be done? 122 kilowatts, 52 minutes left. So that's plenty of time to go run some errands. And hopefully we'll be done before then if everything goes to plan. But no one's here at this station. It's a pretty quiet day. It's like a Thursday morning, so I don't think we're going to be hogging up. Normally I wouldn't hog up like a busy charging station charging to 100. But again, while towing, we kind of do need it. So it was nice to get the level 2 boost overnight, but yeah, would have been better if we could get a full charge at our hotel. Not possible though. Anyway, we'll leave this here, throw gear guard on so everything's monitored. It's got like a little sentry mode type situation, and we're off to go ship some, what am I trying to say? Ship some papers. We are rolling back up after completing some tasks. Genesis G80 pulled up and is charging. The Rivian's still not done. It's at 99%, doing 4 kilowatts. I figured I'm going to get some snacks and stuff, Alyssa, because I haven't eaten yet today. You had some snacks. So I figured we'll juice up the e-tron a little bit, get some juice going in this thing, and then we got to get some distance on because it's almost 1 p.m.
We got to get going.
It's 12:40.
We're just losing time more and more that we travel too, so.
Oh, today is kind of like not a great travel day, but we got to spend the whole day in Salina, Kansas.
Really learned a lot. Right, bud? Nice drool. Like an earring.
We have completed at 100%, and the lightning's just rolling up. And so this thing is at 100. Man, the Rivian does some super weird stuff with one pedal driving when you're at 100%. Just can't regen anymore. Anyway, I'm going to cheat and get a slice of pizza because I am starving. Not good. We'll run around afterwards. And charge up the e-tron a bit, let Walter out, kind of get resituated, and then we'll be ready to hit the road. We have arrived to the Lawrence, Kansas Tesla supercharging station. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this cable's going to reach. I'm going to guess it will not reach. Let's see. Will it? Oh, it's close. Honestly, I could just pop it right up here on the curb. So that's what I'll do. We'll just raise it up a little bit, boop, pull it right here. And this way we're not going to block any supercharging stalls. So a little bit of off-roading. It's a Rivian after all. We'll raise the suspension, get it here. We don't block any stalls and we're all good to charge. Nothing like getting a little creative with the parking situation, but this way we don't block anyone and we're good to go. Let me grab my Ford approved adapter. Boom. Rock and roll. Let's charge.
All right, got everything plugged in. Let's see. And we're going. This is slow, only at 62.5 kilowatt hours, but oh wow. We'll get her juiced up enough to get her down the road, and honestly, by the time Kyle's done with the charge that he needs to do, it honestly might be a pretty even. So, we're We're gonna get you out of the car and get you rocking and rolling and go over to the Tesla chargers where fancy people go, right? Yeah.
I have been to this station many times. Actually, I came here once when the transformer popped and it lost all power to the station. And this like water fountain here was in like overflow mode, water tower. Anyway, we went from 100% state of charge down to single digits. So we used everything we could. Drove a little bit more quickly yesterday. We arrived at 6%. So that's, again, pretty good way to maximize the first leg. Did 139 miles only. Oh my goodness. Again, we were doing about 70, 74 miles an hour this stretch because I knew I could make it here. And yeah, I mean, you don't want to drive too fast because that offsets some benefits, but we are juicing and it's showing we only need 23% to make it to our spot in Kansas City to get my little sign from the Mitsubishi store. 190 kilowatts now, but yeah, anyway, I can tell you this cable is going to overheat because it's going to rip full power. The Rivian did precondition on the way here, brought the battery temp down all the way to 74 degrees. And then, you know, it shuts off preconditioning at low state of charge and the temps climbed back up as we were getting close to the charger, unfortunately. But I think we have, we're not blocking anything, vehicles that need to get back there. It says employees only. No one goes back there. They're totally fine. I went back there to turn around. And I'm going to go walk over to the other side of the plaza where Alyssa should be charging on the charge point unit, which is only 62 kilowatts. But keep in mind, she's a lot more efficient and doesn't need as much juice as I do. Just going to hide some of my stuff so no one comes and takes my laptop, hopefully. Leave gear guard on. Grab my, yep, guys, this is a big news, by the way. My work phone, I swapped for an Android. I know, shoot me now. This is against everything I've believed in my whole life. I've always been an Apple guy. But so many of you said I got to try out to see what's up with the new Android phones. This is a Samsung S25 situation. Yeah, so anyway, I'm daily driving it for my work phone for the next couple weeks. We'll see if I like it. If I do, then I'll keep it. I think it's cool to have both. So we'll keep this juicing up. I'm going to go check on Alyssa and we'll just leave it there charging. Sweet. So if the Tesla supercharging station was open to Volkswagen Group vehicles, Alyssa would be able to charge there, but Audi does not have access yet. So we've got to go all the way to the other side of this plaza, which is where she should be charging on those charge point units. Let's take a look. Check this out. Some people tow their electric cars with diesel trucks. Other people tow their electric cars with electric trucks. Although they're probably having a much easier road trip than we are. And here is Alyssa's car charging up on the charge point units. Looks like all is good. I wonder if they're paired 125 kilowatts. I don't see her anywhere. Car is locked as well, so I'm guessing she's out doing something. Let's take a look to see how fast we're charging. So normally you would DC link them, but no, it looks like they just have them set up to be 62 kilowatts, which is a little bit annoying because with these units, you can run an extra DC bus between the two, and you could take the extra conversion power of that charger and shove it over here. Now, they typically only have 200 amp cables on them. Let's see. This one, 174 amp cables. So that really probably wouldn't be much benefit then. But it's getting basically half the amperage the car wants. But hey, we got to do a deep charge on the Rivian. And I have no idea what state of charge Alyssa got here with. Let's see, was it pretty good? I mean, it's at 28% right now. And this one doesn't show the charging curves, does it? No. Yeah, the newer software, it'll let you see charging curves, volts and amps and stuff. But with that said, I'm going to go find her. She's got to be around here somewhere. And we'll let the Audi charge up. I can see them all the way up there, walking to go find me at the charger, I guess. But I'm back here, went to go check on those guys. So we did not coordinate that very well. We found them. Whoa, drooly boy. We have been charging for a little bit of time now, and it's probably good to figure out where the heck we want to go next. We are charging speed reduced, limited by charging station. That's just Tesla version 3 cables getting hot. Nothing new there. We knew that was going to happen, but it's not too bad. We're still doing 160 kilowatts or so. I can show you the graph here. He says, there we go. We peaked at like 196 and then boom, just fell right off a cliff. But it's maintaining and holding temperature, 150, 160 kilowatts in there. So not the end of the world, still charging somewhat reasonably. Not ideal, but hey, we're already not in a rush. We'll take this for sure. So this is where we have to go to get the sign, which is a little bit out of the way, but not the end of the world. And then we got to continue out on this road this way. Now there is a Ayana station in Blue Springs, which seems to be a pretty good next stop, but it's not super trailer friendly. It's sort of in like a industrial park area type thing. Let's see if there's anything else. So now this might be a good stop, this EVgo Pilot Flying J site. There's also a Tesla center if we can stretch it there, of course. But this EVgo stop seems pretty good to me. And that's kind of what it's thinking, saying pop up, pop down, and then blast over. And that's if we charge for another 14 minutes. See, it says ready here, but then it says 14 minutes of charging here. That doesn't totally make sense, does it? EVgo. Oh, I've got it all mixed up the wrong way. We've got to go, we can remove this, and we can go EVgo as 0.2. So 1, then 2. Now we're making sense. Let's see what it thinks we need to do. And now those EVgo stations are typically much better off for towing. And I'll double check that that's a towing friendly site. But that's kind of the rough plan. We'll figure out where we can make it to. And Alyssa's still back here playing with Walter somewhere back there. Don't know. So it's not like we're in a huge rush to get out of here. So let's see how this all plays out. Yeah, and it says we can make it if we leave now. So we'll still put some extra in. Guys, check this out. You can see I just got this notification showing charging in hot weather, and I've got climate control ripping, and it's basically saying, hey, it's got to work harder for the thermal management systems. So it's suggesting I turn off climate, which will help cool the battery a little bit quicker. There we go. Nice. So we charging station limited, and then limited because the battery got hot in the truck, and now I turned that off. All the warnings went away, and we should be good to rip. All right, guys. Well, I think we've come up with a pretty good plan. Just met one of our viewers over here. Super nice guy. And so we've got a big stretch after these two to get to down this way. And out this way, there's some charging. There's also this Rivian Adventure Network charger, which we should take advantage of. I like to use the Rivian network. But there's also this Pilot Flying J. And if we wanted to go all the way out there, I think it's 127 miles to do that, plus the detour would be a little bit too much driving in my impression. So what we're going to probably end up doing is Alyssa's walking back to her Tron now. We've charged up to 68%, which isn't terrible. And I think what we're going to do is go get the sign and then head to this charging station or the Tesla, one of those two. Alyssa can't charge at the Tesla, so we'll probably have to charge here. That way we can both charge together at the EVgo. Then we'll hit the Rivian Adventure Network charger and then just kind of continue our way east. So should be fun. And yeah, we'll arrive there with 36 miles. So we're pretty much good to unplug, hit the road, hit that halfway point, and we'll get to that next one and, you know, around 10% state of charge or so, which should be pretty perfect. All right, time to unplug. Let's actually see how much this session costs and everything before we do that. We added 102 kilowatt hours. $36. Honestly, very, very reasonable pricing. I imagine our next stop at the Pilot Flying J will not be so reasonable. We'll click the eject button on the Rivian, pull this out, unlock the cable. I've got to drop a couple things off at the e-tron for Alyssa, some batteries for Walter's fans, and then we're off. Alyssa is getting Walter all set up with more batteries for the fans. What do you think the e-tron got up to? Have you checked yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. Wonder if we have enough to get, oh yeah, 72%. So yeah, you should be good to, we pretty much have a similar range. Yeah. At that percentage, I should say. Yeah. Okay, let's roll. So, all right, off we go. Heading to go get this cool IMEV sign. Can't wait. There we go, unplugging the Tron. Really not too bad, 60 kilowatt charging. Normally I'd be like, why does this thing not have 800 kilowatt charging? Well, in the perspective of towing, really not too bad. All right, Alyssa, we got her strapped down. Shout out to Nicholas and these guys over here in Kansas City. Super cool of them to let us have this this display. As long as the Twizy doesn't go anywhere, this isn't going to go anywhere. Sits perfectly right there. And then these, got to figure out what to do with these. But honestly, thinking maybe under the dog beds in the e-tron might make the most sense. The Rivian bed's just a bit small. So kind of think I'm just going to slide them into the e-tron. All right, shout out to Nicholas. That's a cool stand. We got the little boards going down in the e-tron underneath. So all is good. And we're just going to get Walter all settled. Oh, you got some packing tape? Nice. This is pro shipping right here.
Get these cables.
Getting the power cord locked down so it doesn't flap in the wind. Pro level right there. Thanks, Alyssa. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we got to do a quick stop at that EVgo station. Then we're off to the Rivian Adventure Network. I have to see if it's open to all vehicles or not. I think half of Rivian's network now is open to everyone, which that's not cheap. But hey, if we can charge together, we will. Dang, the AC system's ripping in this thing right now. Compressor was at full send and it got the battery temperature, what am I trying to show you, down to 89. Okay, we've arrived at 14%, pretty high. And this is just going to be, I think, a little splash and dash to get over to the Rivian charger. Yeah, for no reason in particular other than, I guess, this, you know, check out more chargers. I guess we could stay here. Alyssa got sent off the highway in traffic by her GPS. Nothing crazy, but yeah, I got a tap to pay here with my EVgo card, which I have in my wallet. So let me do that. Where we are charging is 65 cents per kilowatt hour, which is just about double what we just paid at the Tesla supercharger. However, there's McDonald's, there's Subway, there's a PFJ, Pilot Flying J location, which I absolutely love. And you have these Delta high power units, which usually work great in my impression. So yeah, Alyssa got sent off the highway by her GPS, but now she's here, rolling up in the e-tron. And so I'll have her go charge over there so she doesn't steal any of my power. We'll maximize the conversion power on site. So Alyssa will charge up there. We're at 14% here. I love that you can go to session details and it will tell you all the good stuff. This is not a limited site. It says maximum 350 kilowatts right there. Hell yeah. We're only going to be pulling a lot less than that. So let's see if this thing can rip up to 500 amps. I'll get Alyssa charging at that particular site. And then I got to wash my hands after strapping some things down. Feel a little nasty. I didn't get a chance to wash my hands after we put that thing in the trailer, the stand. So how's Walter doing?
Snooze-a-loozing.
You've been snoozing. You sleepy?
Yeah, he just had his head on my shoulder.
Oh, what state of charge you at? We never know. Oh, you're not that low. Maybe 25%. May as well juice it up, though, since we're here.
Yeah.
The Rivian is ripping. We're getting all 500 amps out of this thing. 203 kilowatts. Hell yeah, brother. And the Tron is getting all the 350 amps it wants pretty much right there. So this is the most consistent charging car maybe of all time.
Yeah, I would agree.
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. Not good for you, bud. So far this trip, well, first of all, just ran in, grabbed some waters. So far this trip, we have not had to unhook the trailer at all, which has been incredibly useful. And a lot of that has to do with more choice of high-power DC charging stations. I'm able to choose the stations that can accommodate the long trailer. Another real benefit is having this front charging port in the Rivian. You know, by putting charging stations out in the back of parking lots where I'm not blocking anything, and the front charging port means I really have a lot of optionality. easily. If I was towing with my Cybertruck or a Silverado EV, yeah, especially in the Silverado, I might be able to go farther and charge faster, but I'd have to unhook the trailer a lot more, which would add time and annoyance because of that rear charging port. So I really think it's absolutely key to have a tow vehicle with a front charging port on it. It just makes all the difference. We are already off of 200 kilowatts. So while I've been saying the charging performance has been getting better, it really has. It just still, it's not bad. It just can't hold full power unless you plug in with a pretty cold battery pack. And we've been kind of ripping on this thing quite a bit. So got some waters here, and yep, we're doing 168 kilowatts to the battery at 36%, which is way off what this thing can do, but still not the end of the world. Once Alyssa comes back, she's getting us some food and stuff. We'll see what's possible, what we're able to do. Got to make sure Walter isn't going to freak out because that dog's walking near the car. He's normally pretty good. Let's just keep an eye on him. He's definitely watching. He's like, friend? Friend? Walter. 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 Hey, Walter. You're doing great, bud. Good job. No barking. That's great. All right, and this thing's ripping along. Still just doing the typical e-tron, 150 kilowatts all the time. This is really a great charging stop. We've got grass for the dog. We've got trailer-friendly-ish location. We've got trash can, windshield washer fluid, and 24-hour amenities right off the highway. Honestly, the only thing that would make it better is that now you're post buddy, you got to stop peeing on things. The only thing that would make it better is if it was under canopy, but they've done that at a few locations. Anyway, Walter's loving it. We're having fun. He's enjoying the trip, and life is good. All right, Alyssa, e-tron's already up to 80%, and this has picked up some charging performance now that it's cooled off, which is great.
Great.
Picked up some food. Thank you very much. And we'll make it to the Rivian charger in 76 miles, about an hour of driving with 5 miles of range. I'm going to double check to see if it's open to other cars or not, and then we'll be able to roll.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So Alyssa, I'm looking for your car, and we put in, just basically Electrify America and EV Go. And there's nothing in Columbia. You've got to make it all the way out here to this EV Go pilot center, which would be another great stop for us because many of them are trailer friendly. And if we remove charging stops just to see if you could make it there, that's 140 miles. You can do that.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'll stop at the Rivian Adventure Network site because I need a top up. But you should charge to 100 here. Oh. Or 90.
Close.
Probably 90.
Really?
You're almost there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're at 80 something now.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, 140 miles. What? Yeah, that's, your car can easily do that. I'm all confused between the two. So you need to plan on that for your car. So throw that one in, the next EVgo Pilot Flying J. And I'm going to go to this Rivian station here. I got to turn the Rivian network back on. That's where I'll go and top up. Should be good. We'll get there at 19 miles. So I'm ready to roll.
See that.
Yeah, it's all the way out east. So that's where we'll see Alyssa. Well, I guess, unless you want to come hang out at the Rivian charger with us. No. All right. Well, we'll see you in a couple stops then. I'm out of here. It's actually charging pretty good up top, I have to say. 175 kilowatts, still at 60%. Almost feels weird to leave if we're getting that much good juice, because we're going to get the similar at this Rivian station. But, yeah, we're down to 400 amps out of 500, and that's what the truck wants. The only reason I would say to leave, charge up at Rivian, we're going to have to go there anyway. I'm not going to charge here to 100 to make it that 140 miles, is we get free juice at Rivian, so may as well do that. It really doesn't make much of a difference. That's actually kind of nice with this new Max Pack charging curve. So let's unplug, let's head off to the Rivian chargers, and we'll see Alyssa at the next EVgo site. Should be fun. Let's rock and roll. We have arrived to another stop with the AC compressor screaming. Let's take a look at the battery pack temp. Pretty warm. Pretty warm. Just rolled up. Man, this thing's going. We're at the Rivian Adventure Network site at 8%. We've just pretty much averaged 1 mile per kilowatt hour with this trailer. Let me show you the drive real quick, then we'll get this thing plugged in. We'll shut climate off as well. Energy monitor, drive. So we didn't reset. Don't know. That's including the last charging stop as well, which isn't accurate. Basically, 1 mile per kilowatt hour. We're moving along pretty good. 68, 72, something like that. Nothing too crazy. We've got pretty more reasonable pricing here. 45 cents per kilowatt hour. I feel like maybe Rivian raised the price and then they back lowered it. A little bit hard for me to one hand this thing in here. So let me two hand it in, get it charging. Guys, I think we are still charging pretty good. If I pull up we're tapered down now to 120 something kilowatts, but you can see we hit max temp here at 37%. And then it just tried to hold and recover. It seems to do probably amperage based targets because you can see it seems to climb as voltage rises. And then we've come off this ledge now here 60 to 68%, but it also seems to be recovering again and coming up. So we've put in 100 kilowatt hours this session, and it's been 34 minutes to put in 100 kilowatt hours. Really not the end of the world. We're okay. Uh-oh. Did I hit stop charging? At 69%? That was not the plan. The plan is to keep charging till we can get to, because we got way more juice than needed to get to that EVgo station. But I was thinking we would just go to this Electrify America station just east of St. Louis, because then the next real station that we can hit, there's a bunch of car dealerships through here or whatever. The next real station is this Tesla one in Mount Vernon. And there's also an EA there. But I thought rather that we'll skip this, we'd charge up pretty deep here because it was charging okay. I'll plug it back in. We'll go to this one east of St. Louis, 138 miles. We can do it 2 hours, but get some distance on, charge up there, and then maybe stay somewhere along this stretch or in Mount Vernon tonight was kind of the thought. So let me plug back in, put in some more buffer, and then we can skip that EVgo site right off the highway is what I'm thinking. Just went into Target to use the restroom. Super nice facilities. All is good. Great charging stop right off the highway. I think the plan is charge to like 80, 85%, something like that. Get on the other side of St. Louis. That way we don't have to deal with like inner city charging where, okay, maybe it's not going to be so trailer friendly. I looked out on PlugShare that the next EA site is in like similar situation, back of a mall. We'll be there late. Hopefully we don't have to unhook. So I think it makes sense to charge a little deep, blow past the city, and then charge on the way out of it. That's going to be the plan. We are almost done with our charging session here at 82% state of charge. It says to charge to 85% to make it at almost dead, and I think that sounds good. I can also drop the speed a little bit, and we'll be going through some St. Louis denser traffic, I would imagine, as we get closer. So yeah, it says 5 minutes to where we need to get to. Sounds good. Maybe I'll give it another percent or two of buffer. Then we're off for a finally long stretch of the day. Well, the Rivian says we're ready to go. Okay, but it doesn't tell me what I'm going to get there with at all. It just says 1 more minute. It's like a little bit stuck in a boot loop. So let's say, yes, we want to go to Electrify America. Are we ready? What will we make it there with? 2 miles of range. 2 miles of range is good. Let's go. We'll just drive it gently. Nice, low and slow. We don't need to be ripping 75 miles an hour. We can go 65 miles an hour and be sensible. I just don't want to top charge this thing at 80 kilowatts like we are right now. That's just annoying. It's not the out-of-spec lifestyle. This already was not the out-of-spec lifestyle. Okay, let's rock and roll. That was a deep charge here from 8%, or did we get here at 8% to 86%? Sick. Start this thing up. 3 miles of range. Perfect. Let's go.
All right, we made it to our next charging stop at a Flying J station, which is covered, and it's nice because, oh, thank you. It's raining not only outside, but inside too. That's very, very helpful. So I get a plug in. I believe I remember on this, all I need to do is activate with ChargePoint. So I've been here before and I've used this actually with him. And so yeah, let's get this plugged in, ready to go. And then I think I'm gonna meet Kyle at the next station, which I don't believe is too far away, so I don't have to be here too long. So let's get plugged in. So I got here just at 5% with 8 miles remaining. And now it's time to charge. All right, finally heard the contactors go. It should be going. This side didn't quite work for me. I think I just timed out one too many times. I got confused, so I chose the other side, and I hear things moving and I hear things clicking. And are there things going? So it's checking cable safety. Okay. There's another click. Can we just charge matching voltage? Okay, and good. We're charging. Yay! Yay! Zoomed in. There we go. All right, Betty, would you like to go for a little walk? Throw some trash out? Okay, let's go. All right, so it was my duty to find a hotel tonight, and I'm very slow at that. So I overcharged, and we're only like 80 miles away from the hotel. It's just on the other side of why can't I think? St. Louis, Illinois. So, Buddy Boy's in the car, and we are ready to go. So let's stop this charging session. Come on, Needle. Let's go. I don't know how people sometimes. Come on, let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. There we go. Jesus Christmas. Oh, alright. Let's see if it gives us any data. There's the data. There's the cost. It's getting expensive to charge a car. I don't know. That might be a little cheaper and a little bit faster right over there. What do you think, buddy? We would already be to North Carolina by now. Let's go. There are 4 charging spots here, all of which are being iced, and even by an EV owner. So that's cool. There's plenty of parking over here, but no, we gotta get that front row seating. Can't walk too far, so that kind of screws us over. Yeah, I'll call Kyle and see what's in the area or check with charging, because definitely, I don't know. That's just not cool. Alright, because everybody stole all the chargers at the hotel. We're over here at an EA. It's just 3 miles down the road, so not too bad. But just makes our night a little bit longer and our bedtime a little bit further away. But there's worse things in the world. So I'm currently at 44%, and I think I'll probably charge up to like 80 or 90%. Kyle's on his way as well, so I will film him pulling up here soon, but it is raining, so I'm going to close that door to stay nice and dry. And I actually think, nope, that's a bus. That's not Kyle. Not like you guys can see anyways with the rain. But so I got this guy here. Are you ready to go to bed? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, there's a raindrop. There's a raindrop on my phone. So, ramped up, solid 145 kilowatts. This guy is, well, you were snoozing, but now you're awake. And Mom still didn't fix the camera. There we go. Hi. Are you ready for bed? You're such a good boy. Just the goodest boy. Yeah. Okay. Fogging up the place. Yeah, here comes Kyle. You can just swoop right into that stall right there and get to charging. Woohoo!
We have arrived at the Electrify America charging station. 5% state of charge, timed it perfectly. Holy smokes, the driving sucks right now. The rain is terrible. You can't see anything on the road. If you've seen any of those GoPro clips, that's literally what it looks like to me. Can't see a thing. I've had like 3 people almost crash into me. It's been crazy. This dude was like sliding in front of me, hydroplaning. I'm like, we got to get off the roads. People in St. Louis are crazy. So Alyssa's getting her e-tron started. I'm going to get the Rivian started because we decided not to drive anymore tonight. Conditions are bad. We're tired. We're like, let's just wake up tomorrow and get a nice travel day under our belt. No reason to push it when weather's bad and we're tired anyway. Yeah, we started late today, but we were up early working. And so, yeah, I got to plug this thing in. Our hotel, we booked a hotel with 4 charging spots and they're all iced, which is brutal. So let's take a look at our leg this past drive. How'd it go? 137 miles, 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. Pretty good. And that's mostly because we drove gently and, you know, pretty heavy traffic. So I'm going to get this thing started to charge and we'll juice up before we go to bed. I just mentioned to Alyssa she should charge up to 90%. I have no idea what we're going to charge up to, but probably similar 80, 90%, something like that. See if I can take a little nap while it juices up and then pop over to the hotel, 1 exit down the highway, and start this day off right tomorrow. Hopefully the rain stops.
So I'm charged up to 95% and I'm defogging the windows here. Because I forget that you have to put it in auxiliary mode while charging. I forget what the rules are, but there is a thing when charging. So, yeah, now it's just time to get back to the hotel and go to sleep. Look at this boy. You're just so cute.
You join me 1 hour later, and we are at 90% state of charge. Truck keeps blaming the charger for charging station speed reduced, but it's not the case. We found this out earlier. EA chargers, it's a long story. The truck it gets confused. It's getting the power it wants. Really bad charging session, by the way. Because I was planning on going to the hotel and level 2 charging, I didn't precondition much, and it never recovered. Just fell off this ledge and then fell down. Anyway, it's almost midnight. Time for bed. See you guys in the morning. I just realized pulling up to this hotel, we've stayed here before. Actually, I think when we first got Walter, we stayed here. There's more chargers in the back of the hotel that are not iced. So we just charged for an hour for no reason.